You're watching Backstage Tech, a podcast for software founders, investors, and product leaders. Today's guest is Henry Lynch, a co-founder and CTO of Vsimple. Vsimple is an AI-powered process automation platform trusted by manufacturers, dealers, and distributors across the United States, including ProLift Toyota, RWM Casters, Blue & Co., and many more. They don't just sell software. They design, implement, and support every workflow for their clients with a strong positioning as a growth partner. Before we start, make sure you hit subscribe to get notified when the next episode drops. Hey Henry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really glad you're joining me on the podcast today, and I know it was quite an effort for you to make it from Louisville, Kentucky to here in Lisbon. And by the way, for those who don't know, we are currently in Lisbon, Portugal, in the best podcast studio in town.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It's been a blast.
I remember the previous time when we met, it was probably 3 years ago. It was in New Albany in Indiana.
Yeah.
And recently, I know that you moved your HQ to Louisville, Kentucky, which was a big deal, not just only for Vsimple, but also for the whole region. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks so much. We really enjoyed our time in New Albany. We outgrew the office we were in there, but found a new place in Louisville and are really excited about it.
I suggest that we start with an introduction to yourself and Vsimple, and then we can dive to more specific topics. How does that sound?
Sounds great. So my name's Henry Lynch. I'm the CTO and one of the 4 co-founders of Vsimple, which is a process automation software that began about 6 years ago. We originally started the business to be a distribution company that was going to be differentiated by the software we use to better serve our customers. But after about a year of doing that, we realized most of the value in our business was the software we built, and we began selling it to other distributors, manufacturers, dealerships, and have focused solely on the software for about the past 5 years.
I didn't know you had. Did you sell physical products?
Yes.
Back then?
Yes, that was how the company started. We had a business called Access Point Alliance, and the software product that later became Vsimple originally was called Access Links, and it was a platform that helped us better organize the orders that we were shipping to all these customers and gave them a way to easily track their projects and orders that they had going on with the business.
So if you were to describe what Vsimple is doing just in one sentence, how would you explain it?
I would explain it as process automation software, and that looks a little bit differently based on each industry that we work with and each customer. But at a very high level, we take order management, project management, or other business processes that have multiple steps and approvals and documents that need to be organized, and we build a digital assembly line to organize those handoffs and all the different data or documents that need to be captured along the way. We also integrate with accounting software and other tools that our customers might have in their tech stack, and have built a lot of AI into the product over the past year to 18 months as well.
Yeah, I've seen it on your website. So the AI agent that you have built is called VAI. And I wonder if you could tell me in a nutshell about the use cases, how your customers currently are using this.
Sure. So before we launched VAI, we had and still do have a very robust rules-based automation feature. So our customers set up rules like, if we receive an order that has this product or is this type of order, automatically create this document, notify this team, fill in these fields. And what the advancements in AI have allowed us to do is begin to automate additional steps that required human intervention in Vsimple. So some examples of that would be our VAI file parser, which can take a document or an email that our customer receives and automatically pull all the key details out of these documents to automatically fill in records in Vsimple, update records, that sort of thing. Our VAI agent can also do things like audit documents, so that our customers don't have to do manual approvals and checks. One example of that is for our commercial furniture clients. They often get quotes from their vendors, and then they produce some quote for their customer, and they're able to have VAI automatically make sure that they don't have some mistake when they're comparing these two documents to one another.
If we could speak a little bit about the interface, how do your customers currently interact? Is there a chat, or how does it look inside the platform?
It started just as a sidebar experience. VAI would be an icon a user could click on and then could chat back and forth with it. But we've embedded it into other parts of the product as well. So now it's a part of our search bar at the top of the page. It can automatically parse documents as well. So there's a part of the product that operates autonomously without a user interacting. There's also an admin panel where more advanced Vsimple users can build custom prompts and automated actions that, again, just would process in the background so that a user doesn't have to remember to open the sidebar and ask some question. They can have AI kind of automatically take tasks off their plate.
What level of adoption do you see currently within your customers?
It's a great question. So we serve industries that are often slow to adopt new technologies, and we have seen the power of VAI grow substantially over the past year, but our usage is still fairly low. So that's a big focus for my team and our customer success team right now, is making sure our customers understand all the additional tasks that they can automate with VAI, and trying to make it really easy for these users to click the button to open up VAI and start interacting with it. We're also really excited about moving more of VAI to be autonomous, so that there's no pressure on our users to interact with this sidebar, remember to click to use some prompt. It just would automatically be running for them in the background.
I wonder, what was the initial feedback from the customers who already started using AI in their day-to-day processes?
They've been really excited. So the file parser in particular, you could imagine someone receiving some PDF from their vendor or customer and having to rekey this information into Vsimple. So that feature alone saves a ton of time, and it's been something customers have been really excited about. And then as we've built out our agents, seeing the prompts that people are able to leverage to automate additional steps in the process is really cool too. That document audit I mentioned that some of our customers use VAI for was something that could take a human maybe an hour or two. You have to sit down with these large PDF files and go line by line and confirm that you're not missing anything. And of course, they may still have details they want to manually verify, but VAI gives them a huge time savings by giving them this starting point of calling out kind of the easy to catch things that are missed between the documents for whatever reason.
Yeah, that sounds great. And especially when you're mentioning a few hours, when a person would spend just on one document to go through it line by line, you can imagine how many hours are being saved every week and every month per year. And more importantly, instead of checking documents, people can be focused on more important tasks, which humans can still do better than robots.
Right.
I was doing my prep work before today's podcast, and I was checking your website. And one of the phrases that I really liked was, you don't just get software, you get a growth partner. So I wanted to speak in general about your approach to your work with customers. What does that mean in practice?
Sure. So there is a lot of workflow automation, process automation software that's available. And one of the ways Vsimple differentiates itself is with our customer success team. A lot of our competitors simply have some sign up form on the website. You put in your credit card and you need to figure it out from there. But when you're onboarding a large team and you have business critical workflows, we found that it's way better to have a Vsimple expert sit alongside you and make sure that you're using all of the features, everything's set up properly. You have someone to help you with setup and training and ongoing support. So we have a very hands-on implementation and customer success strategy. And that's really helped our customers make sure that they're getting the most out of their investment in the software. But also has helped us on a product perspective a ton, because we constantly are getting this valuable feedback from our customers because we work with them every day.
I agree, it's extremely valuable, because when your customer experience team is always in contact with the clients, you get the feedback right away, and this helps you run faster than your competitors, for instance, than other companies in the workflow automation space. I know that many of your customers are using ERP and CRM systems. So I'm curious, how do you integrate with those, or maybe when you don't integrate, how do you replace those systems which are hard to integrate sometimes?
Sure. So we don't sell accounting software. So all of our clients still need some core accounting software to track their general ledger and all the other accounting transactions that need to happen for them to close their books and those sorts of things. But those systems are often not very good at the complex project and order management that's required in a lot of the industries that we serve. And so our strategy there is always to integrate. So you'll have Vsimple will be the single pane of glass for a team to log in and see exactly what's the status of this project, all the documents, communication, all those will be in our system. But then it's still helpful to have an integration to see the related financial transactions from the accounting software or the ERP. So on a Vsimple project, you could see the linked invoices or sales orders or a project record from the ERP, which helps reduce the data entry teams have to do and gives them kind of a unified way to see both the status of a record from a like project management perspective, but also a financial perspective all in one place. For CRM systems, a lot of CRM process is just workflow. And so we have plenty of customers that leverage Vsimple as their CRM for lead management, for opportunity management, contact and customer management. And we have some features that are helpful for those types of workflows, like our e-sign feature, vSign, vForms, which allows customers to connect either create a case or lead request or demo request kinds of forms from their website straight into Vsimple. We also integrate deeply with Outlook. So a lot of our customers use us for CRM, but if you have more complex, especially marketing needs, some of our customers will leverage a system like HubSpot and set it up to integrate with their Vsimple account so that when they either convert a new lead or win a new deal in HubSpot, for instance, that can create the new project to be managed in Vsimple.
So as far as I understand, if a new customer comes to you and they already have HubSpot or Salesforce in place, you can simply plug it in and get the data moving back and
Exactly.
forth.
Part of the evaluation we'll do with a new customer is look at how they're using their CRM. And in some cases, we'll replace it and help them save some money here. In other cases, if they still need more advanced marketing functionality, for instance, we'll integrate with it so that they can keep using those features.
From your experience, how did you see your clients used CRM, so you decided just to replace it with Vsimple? What were the workflows, or maybe did they use it somehow in an incorrect way, if I can put it like this?
Yeah. So sometimes we have new customers that have never had a CRM formally before. And so for them, using Vsimple just to organize what their sales teams are working from an opportunity perspective is a quick and easy win and helps them get more value out of their Vsimple subscription. In other cases, if someone has a basic CRM, we can usually replace this as well. But for companies that have already invested a lot, particularly in the marketing side of a CRM, like with a HubSpot, we don't have some of these like mass email type of features in the product. And so that's when we'll usually lean more towards integrating with those. But we decided to take on some of those workflows because it's very helpful in Vsimple to be able to see the full history of a project, right? So if you can start that all the way with your new lead or your quote, you have this very rich history in our system of every conversion and step and conversation that's happened from that very first one with a potential customer all the way through closing out the project or order.
It's interesting you mentioned that some clients don't even some organizations don't even have a CRM. And I've also seen that in my experience. As you know, we at ProCoders, we are in custom software development space, and quite often we need to understand how clients' business works from the inside before we can suggest any solution, because that's how we solve problems. Could you tell me how your team at Vsimple works with customers to understand their business before they start using the platform?
Sure. So we have a few industries where we have really deep domain expertise. We've worked with lots of clients, and in these cases, we can act as process experts that come in and will analyze the way that they've organized their business workflows and can help them work through what the optimal process would be for their business. In other industries where we're still learning what the best Vsimple setup would be, we spend a little bit more time in this discovery process, making sure we understand the intricacies of each step that they have today and help them figure out the best way either to automate or eliminate those steps by using our software.
So the industry you just mentioned, is that material handling?
Material handling's one, commercial furniture. We have some professional services and manufacturing clients as well. But particularly in those first two industries where most of the businesses we're dealing with are fairly similar, we're able to take a lot of the learnings from the projects we've done over the past 5 years and help advise new customers on the best way to organize some of these processes. Of course, the platform is highly configurable, so we can always account for the nuances between each client and help them get it exactly how it needs to work for their business. But we're also able to bring some expertise to the table into that conversation.
How do you configure the workflows for the client? Is it from the code side or is it from the interface?
Strictly from the interface. So our customer success team has access to the exact same admin panel that a client would have. And so we do have some customers that are a bit more tech savvy that set up their own workflows and automations and these sorts of things. But a big part of our sales pitch is our hands-on customer success team. So they're always there to help with this, especially for new clients that are just getting started in Vsimple, so that they don't get overwhelmed trying to onboard their own team.
That's amazing. You have a team who can set up the workflows for the clients, and when they need to run fast, they don't even need to learn every bit of the configuration panel. Right. Your team does everything for them. I was curious, what would be your approach when you start working with a client who's got a specific workflow that doesn't exist in Vsimple, and let's say it only exists on their spreadsheets?
Sure.
This is how they manage it.
This happens all the time. If it's a process that we've set up for another client, we often have already built some template for this that could be a good starting point. So for example, let's say there's some project management process that's in a spreadsheet. We usually can take some template we have that's similar as a starting place, and then can use this spreadsheet to help figure out what fields and statuses and things like that need to be set up for this new process. If it's something that's completely new to the product, which also happens fairly frequently, because once a customer has started using Vsimple for one or two workflows at the beginning, they often want to add more and more to the product. And so we'll get asked to help evaluate additional use cases. And for these, we may just start from scratch without some template, and we'll use feedback from the customer or their spreadsheets or whatever operating procedures they had before as the starting place to figure out how it should be set up.
And I can see this is exactly where Vsimple is different from those companies who we can just call software vendors, because I hear that you're a real partner who dives into your clients' workflows and processes, you deeply understand it, and then once you see how it is unique and why it is important for your customers to run their business specifically in this way, you implement it if it's something that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Or you can use a template.
That's right.
Usually, how quickly can a new customer start working with Vsimple?
We usually will find between 1 and 3 kind of initial workflows to start with. We have mature clients that have 20 or more, but we found that it's better to start and get some quick win with the product so that their team can start to understand how it works and can begin automating one of the main processes that they envisioned Vsimple helping them with when they first signed up. And this process usually takes 60 to 90 days. The actual setting up Vsimple is not the difficult thing. We have a very intuitive admin panel, like I mentioned, but we take extra time to make sure we fully understand how the process works today. There's some time for testing, and then a big part is scheduling training with a given team. So if we're onboarding, let's say, a new customer with 100 users, we want to make sure that we have the right training strategy and schedule so that all of them can feel comfortable, get all their questions answered before we have our go live date.
Can I change the gears a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I was checking your testimonials from the customers, and I can tell they're absolutely amazing. I've seen that ProLift Toyota mentioned that they doubled their business, and they said that they wouldn't be able to do it without Vsimple. I wonder, what is the secret sauce? How do you help your clients achieve that?
Our platform really helps companies organize all of their critical processes. So for Toyota, one of their main use cases is order management in our software. We didn't help their sales team go and win, double the new business that they're excited about. But what we did provide to them is a much more scalable and organized way for their teams to handle this extra order volume without having to resort to spreadsheets or lots of emails. They've been able to keep relatively the same administrative team size, despite the fact that they've grown their business considerably. And they've been able to do that through Vsimple, organizing the work that people still have to do, but also helping automate a lot of the steps that can be automated, either with kind of rules-based automations that we've had for several years, or with our new VAI features.
I wonder, what is the next, if we can speak about it, what is the next big release for Vsimple? What are you currently working right now?
We're very excited about VAI working more autonomously. So right now, that primary user experience is still either in the sidebar or interacting with some file that we're analyzing on the user's behalf. But we want more and more of that functionality to just happen automatically in the background, so that the VAI agent is working on our user's behalf even when they're not logged into the software. So that's a major focus for my team right now, and we're really excited about kind of our upcoming couple of releases, which are soon. We have one release Wednesday, and then we're on a 2-week sprint cycle. So these kinds of updates are not super far away. We'll be introducing them gradually over the next few weeks and months.
Well, when you are saying that VAI is operating on the user's behalf when the user is not even logged in, does it mean that a specific trigger needs to happen to start the VAI running inside the platform?
That's kind of the MVP of that feature. Is there's some record change that occurs, and this tells VAI to go take some action on a user's behalf. But we also want to introduce more like scheduled checks where you could have each morning VAI checks for records that meet this criteria, performs these actions on them, and that sort of thing. Yeah, I have some questions for you if you're interested. I don't know if they're relevant to this podcast, but obviously ProCoders works with a lot of companies that are developing software. Would love to hear kind of what cool AI projects are elsewhere in the ProCoders ecosystem that would be interesting.
So recently we worked on a few exciting projects with American and also Canadian companies. One of them is a company called Strum. They're a startup that is building a technology for artists, for musicians. They're based in Nashville, which is the music city in the US. And what's going on there is, on the one hand, we have venues that are looking for artists. On the other hand, we have artists who are looking for gigs and looking to make some money. So what the platform does is basically the connection of these two users, and the artists are being paid inside of the platform. And the other exciting projects that we recently worked on was, I don't know if I can name this company, but they are in construction tech, and we were working on an AI agent for field reports in the construction industry. I totally forgot to mention one project that would be super relevant for this episode. So I decided to record this short clip. At ProCoders, we work with many businesses from traditional industries, one of which is industrial machinery. And I'd like to tell you about a project that we are doing with a company called Yosemite Software. They've been on the market since 1994, providing CPQ software to dealerships and manufacturers in the material handling industry for over 3 decades. While their flagship product, Sales Rep Assistant, was originally built for Windows, our team at ProCoders has partnered with Yosemite Software to help them build a web-based solution for their customers. We're currently deep in development, and I'll be happy to share more details once Yosemite Software launched their web-based product. Now let's get back to the episode. Henry, I know that you're currently traveling in Europe, so I wonder what are your plans here?
Of course, we started in Lisbon, came to visit you, Oleg, and see kind of the ProCoders headquarters here. My next stop is in Valencia. That's just for fun with my wife and a couple of our friends for a few days. And then I'm meeting a lot of our ProCoders developers, our project manager and our QA in Warsaw, Poland, for a few days as well after that.
I hope you enjoyed your trip. And that's amazing that you can meet with your team in person. I know that it's always valuable to see each other face to face and spend some time together offline.
I think one of the major benefits of working with ProCoders is, of course, the team that you put together for each project. I've loved the team that you've helped build for Vsimple. But one thing we discussed yesterday that I think is really important too is when you work with ProCoders versus trying to like hire individuals, for example, there's this group knowledge that comes together as well. So I remember yesterday, you or Oleg mentioned that each Friday, leaders from your different projects have some huddle and discuss all the latest advancements in AI, which this type of community helps all of your projects, right? And that'd be really hard to replicate if you just built your team by yourself. You don't have these resources you can message who are on other projects working with this same kind of advanced cutting edge technology, like getting that feedback and having a bigger team that you can use to help you when you're stuck, I think's a really cool thing that you all do.
Exactly. Henry, as you mentioned, these teams communicate with one another. And it's not just when you work with a team from ProCoders, let's say it's 3 to 5 people, 6, 7 people, you're not limited to that. It's 100 engineers within the same organization. And whenever they need support, or let's say it's a new technology for building AI agents or AI automated workflows, you can reach out to your colleague. Everyone is here in Europe in the same time zone, and you can just huddle, jump on a video call, get a crash course quickly without the need to figure it out yourself for days or even weeks sometimes.
Right.
So that's you're right. It's one of the strong advantages, and we always try to keep this communication going between different project teams.
Yeah.
Well, Henry, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time and really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. My team and I work hard to deliver quality content for you, and we'd really appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next one.